If your tomatoes aren't producing like they should, there's a good chance you're making at least one of these 3 mistakes, and they are costing you tomatoes. I'm Jason from Wishwell Farms, and I've been growing tomatoes for the fresh market for over 25 years. And these are some of the biggest mistakes I see. Mistake number 1, not removing your suckers. Now I know some of you are going to disagree with this, but hear me out. Let's first talk about what a sucker is. A sucker is a side shoot that will grow out right at the corner of the main stem and a branch. It'll be a little side shoot that'll look like a new plant. Here's one right here that got missed. That is a sucker. See how it looks like a new top of a plant. So on our tomatoes, we are removing all of the suckers starting at the very bottom. There were suckers at every branch that we have removed over the last several weeks. Now I realize this is not a home garden setting. This is more of a commercial setting where we do things a little bit differently, especially in a greenhouse and especially with indeterminates. We're going to get into determinates here a little later. So on our indeterminate plants, because they are so tightly spaced in here, we have so many plants in here, we need to keep them pruned down to one main stem. So in a home garden setting where you don't have hundreds or thousands of tomato plants, it can be okay to let some of the suckers grow and turn into a new leader, as they're often called. We like to keep ours just down to one stem, one leader. If we would let all of our suckers grow in here, we would have just a disastrous mess. It would be unmanageable. There would be plants and tomatoes hanging all over the place, laying on the ground, and we wouldn't be able to keep them strung up nicely in rows like they are in here. We would have smaller tomatoes, and at some point our plant would become so overwhelmed it would start shutting down and quit producing tomatoes. Now in a home garden setting, especially if you have a short growing season, I would recommend leaving a few of the suckers. But if you have a longer growing season and you are trying to keep your plant manageable and not sprawling all over the ground, or if you want bigger tomatoes, you need to prune all the suckers. In this type of setting, we don't want our plants to control where they're putting their energy. We want to control it. The more suckers or leaders you leave on your plant, yes, you may get more tomatoes, but you're going to get more small tomatoes. So if you want big, juicy, slicing tomatoes and a well-managed plant that's not going to become overloaded, overwhelmed, and stay in that balance of vegetative and reproductive stage of growth, I would highly recommend removing your suckers. Mistake number 2, and this is where a lot of people go halfway. They might remove all their suckers, but they let the plant carry too many branches. So on our indeterminate tomato plants, we don't ever want to let them carry more than 12 or 13 mature branches. Sometimes we'll even remove them down to 10 or 11. It's totally different on the determinate tomatoes, and we'll get to that next. But on our indeterminate tomato plants, each week they will continue to put on 3 new branches at the very top of the plant. So once that plant has about 14 or 15 branches, we begin removing 3 at the bottom of the plant each week to maintain that 12 or 13 branch count. We're going to use this plant as an example. We have not debranched one time in this greenhouse yet. We're going to start tomorrow, and we're actually a little behind. We should have removed the bottom 3 last week, but I didn't realize how many branches were on these plants. So here is the very bottom branch right here. We don't count the cotyledon. That's that little leaf right there. The cotyledon is not a branch. That's what emerges out of the seed when it germinates. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's 19 branches on this 6.5 foot tall tomato plant. And at the top, these are the 3 immature branches. The branches that are above your uppermost tomato cluster are the immature ones. So we're going to start with the ones below your uppermost flower cluster. So these are the upper 2 most branches we are counting. So tomorrow when we come through here and remove branches, we're just going to snap them off just like that. The first 3 branches are removed, and we're probably going to end up doing 4 or even 5. So now this plant has 1.5 feet of branch removed from its main stem. And there's several reasons that this is important. First of all of those extra branches at the bottom of the plant are not necessary for optimal fruit production on this tomato plant. They're actually just taking away from the plant. I don't know all the science behind it. I just know from 25 years of experience and from talking with other growers who have far more experience than me, that the plant only needs to carry 10, 11, 12 branches on it for optimal production. Furthermore, by removing some of these branches down here, it opens up this area for more airflow to prevent diseases, as well as allowing us to see the fruit better when it begins to ripen. Now, it's not recommended to remove 5 branches at a time like I did. That can be a shock to the plant. It's recommended to do 3 at a time. So what we'll probably do is come through here and take off the bottom 3, and then maybe 3 or 4 days later come back and take an additional 3 to kind of get caught up, to get this plant to only have or be carrying about 12 or 13 branches. In addition to the reasons that I already mentioned, it's also very important to remove 3 branches from the bottom each week to help keep that plant balanced between vegetative and reproductive stage of growth. Having more plant doesn't always mean more production. It can often mean the opposite. Mistake number 3, treating all of your tomato plants the same. This is where a lot of people get tripped up. So there are 2 types of tomato plants. There are indeterminate and determinate. Indeterminate plants continue to grow all season long, actually all year round, as long as they're getting light, heat, and food. They will grow indefinitely. Whereas determinate plants have more of a determined growth pattern. They don't grow as tall, they're usually bushier, and we treat them a little bit differently. If you remove too many of the suckers or branches, you can actually take away from the plant. Whereas indeterminate plants, it can often be beneficial. So how you go about managing these plants depends on the type. There's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So when it comes to plant management for a determinate tomato plant, there are several different ways you can go about this. For many, many years, I never did one thing to my determinates. I would transplant them out in my field, on my raised beds with mulch film and drip irrigation underneath, and let them go. Wouldn't touch them until it was time to harvest. But I learned later on there were several techniques that I should have been implementing with my determinate tomato plants to boost production and especially tomato size. So let me show you what I learned on how to manage your determinate tomato plants. Here is the base of the plant. And as you can see, there are branches all the way down. We have not removed the branches. However, one thing you don't see down here are suckers. We still remove suckers from the base of the plant up to the first cluster. So some people may have even have removed that one, but it has turned into a new leader that has more tomatoes on it. So we ended up removing approximately 4 to 5 suckers on every plant below the first fruit cluster. And if there was a big sucker growing off to the side, you know, like the plant was kind of twinning off into 2 leaders, we would let that one stay. But all these other little ones that were right here between the main stem and the branches all the way down, we removed them. And typically it was between 4 and 6 suckers. I have heard of some growers only removing 3 suckers, the bottommost 3 suckers of the plant. But we decided in this greenhouse setting to go ahead and remove all of them up to that first cluster, and it's typically 5 or 6 suckers. Now I know some growers will also remove the lower branches. So if I counted these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 branches below this first cluster. So I know some growers that will remove no branches on the bottom. I know some that will remove 3, and I know some that remove all of them up to that first cluster. And because there's so many different ways of thinking on managing your determinate tomatoes, we decided to run our own trial this year. So on these 2 rows of determinates, we have 5 different varieties in each row. So we are trialing 10 different varieties, 20 of each variety, and some of them we are going to be removing all of the branches, some of them we are going to remove no branches, and some of them we're going to remove 3 branches. And even on some of them, we're removing a few of the fruit. I'm not going to get into the fruit removal. We typically don't remove any fruit on determinate tomatoes. But because we have so many in here we're trialing, we're going to do a little bit of fruit removal experimentation on some of these just to see how they perform. So if you can fix these three things, control your suckers, limit your branches, manage your plant based on type, you will see a big difference in how your tomatoes produce. Because at the end of the day, are you really trying to grow the biggest plant or grow the most tomatoes? If you want to get even more out of your tomato plants, I put together a video with 3 tips that can help you do exactly that. Make sure you check out that one next. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found value in the content, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all again next time, down on the farm.